Hello, everybody, and welcome to What the Hell Should I Watch? I'm Steve Stebbing,
And I'm Chloe Stebbing.
and we're here to give you a list of what we're watching, which may become what you're watching for the next weekend and week. And we come at you every Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And this is a big episode, kind of, for me, because this crosses off another big movie on the, well, we'll say the blockbuster size slate of 2024. And I teased it last week, so let's just get into it right now. All right, so we're gonna put something into your eyeballs this week, and it's The Wasteland, and it's something I've been just really itching to talk about ever since I saw it. It's Furiosa, a Mad Max saga.
The origin story of renegade warrior Furiosa before her encounter and team up with Mad Max, starring Anya Taylor-Joy and Chris Hemsworth, written and directed by George Miller.
This is epic filmmaking at its absolute core. This feels like what movies are meant for. It's big picture, big sound, big story. I mean, you haven't started your Mad Max journey yet. So, and I really feel like this is a world, especially because George Miller is the be all end all of this one. He wrote and directed every single one of these films, and he has a clear vision. And a big part of that vision is he's never going to tell the same story twice. And it's all contained in this like at the beginning of it all, purely deeply Ozploitation start. Like it's desert, it's cars, it's gas and octane, it's violence, it's like this dirty, not steampunk, but like a dirty punk type look to it. And it is its own aesthetic, and he's just evolved it and honed it and crafted it and sharpened it to the point that was Mad Max Fury Road, which is just an incredible piece of cinema. So much so that it transcended and was Oscar nominated. Like, it was really like in the Oscar race. I believe it was like Best Picture, Best Director. Like, it was in there. And I mean, all technical categories, it should have swept all technical categories because it's just an incredible feat. And while Furiosa does rely on more CG effects, and some of which I did notice, which differed from the Fury Road experience, I still was so on board with exactly what George Miller wanted to say. I love the dual performance as Furiosa, both the young version of Aliela Brown, who's incredible in this film, and Anya Taylor-Joy, who is just, I mean, ferocious as an actress. Like, she is one of those gifted actresses out there, and usually astounds in everything she's in. Like, I very much enjoy her work. And I mean, and also I will say that I believe now the push for Chris Hemsworth for Best Supporting Actor should start, because his villain, Lord Dementis, is incredible. Just the monologuing that he does, he is a character that hates everything around him, and it's just so beautifully put together, and probably the greatest thing the guy has ever done at this point. And I really, really like Chris Hemsworth, but this is the pinnacle of his work to this point. It's incredible. And the color palette, and I mean, there's stuff in Fury Road, they're like, how could you outdo this? But there is a scene, there's, because this film's kind of broken up into 5 pieces that have like a fade to black title card. One of these sequences is one of the greatest action sequences I've ever seen in my entire life. It is just glorious to behold. And I had a big goofy grin and goosebumps the whole time. Like, that's what movies should be.
Yeah.
And I hope I'm not overselling it. because I also like very much these are my type of movies.
Yeah, I mean, like the more ad campaigns that I've seen for Furiosa, it's made me more excited to delve into it. And we talked about this off air. The idea of Mad Max has always been really interesting to me, but I seriously don't know why I haven't just watched it.
Yeah,
I think it's because like when I became because when did the first Mad Max come out? Like in this
1979. 1979. Yeah.
in this specific run?
You're talking the one that Tom Hardy Mad Max. That was 2015.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was almost 10 years ago.
Okay.
But Mad Max, the original Mad Max came out in 1979. And then Road
crazy.
Warrior, I think, was 81. And then Beyond Thunderdome is towards the late 80s. And that's regarded as the worst one. If I were to rank them, that would be the one that falls at the bottom. I love them all unabashedly. I guess I do understand where Thunderdome is a bad movie. It is also a vehicle for Tina Turner because she's like the villain in the movie.
Right.
So it is like, let's use this star power to elevate the Mad Max name, or vice versa, right? Yeah. And it took a long journey. We were waiting a long time. George Miller was trying to get Fury Road made for so long. Finally got it, and it just blows everybody away. Like there's not a film that looks like Fury Road. Even if you've seen trailers, like you've never like an armada of these crazy mechanical monstrosities rolling down this desert road. Like it's crazy to even think about. And just the construction, the ideas, like if anybody deserves to be called a visionary director, it's George Miller, because he's had the vision since the late 70s. And it's fully executed and fully realized on screen. And the guy's like, I think he's 80 now. He's close to 80. And these are the movies he's making.
Every single one of them?
He's done every single one. He's done all five films.
Crazy.
That's astounding, right? Like, there's not many filmmakers that can. I mean, Michael Bay was getting close to the Transformers movies, but good thing he pawned those off and we could actually see what's going on in the movies. But George Miller did all of them. Heck, even when I was playing Fallout, my character, I tried to model him after Max. It's such a badass movie. It's just so solid. I feel like I'm almost like repeating myself in hyperbole about how great it is, but and just another issue now when it comes to rating my best movies of the year, because it's just another one that joins the pantheon of great films in 2024. Like we're getting seriously spoiled, and there's more to come. There's stuff that's even out right now that I'm like really excited about. Like I don't know if you heard of it, that I Saw the TV Glow.
Yeah, I actually just heard about that today.
That movie's getting such great reviews, and on the podcast I do with Marina, Bill, and Melissa, after the credits, Bill went on and on about it. Said this is easily one of the best movies of the year, and also like an incredible trans story as well. That it's interesting, and that the guy that was in. He was in Detective Pikachu. He was in Dungeons and Dragons. Justice Smith. Guy's becoming an excellent actor. I'm looking forward to that one a lot. It's going to be solid. All right, so let's move on to the next on the list. And this one was going to be hitting Netflix in a little bit. Chloe's got that information for you. But it's Glen Powell and Richard Linklater teaming up beautifully. This is Hitman.
A professor moonlighting as a hitman of sorts for his city police department descends into dangerous, dubious territory when he finds himself attracted to a woman who enlists his services. Starring Glen Powell, Adria Arjona, Retta and Austin Emilio, and it's written by Richard Linklater, Glen Powell, and Skip Hollandsworth. Directed by Richard Linklater, and it's available on Netflix on June 7th.
So if you're in like big city, you're in Vancouver, you're in Calgary or Edmonton or everything, Hitman is playing in theaters. You can see it in theaters now, which is lucky for you. I live in Penticton and I don't get to see it in theaters, but good thing VVS hooked me up with the screener for this movie. And do you know who Glen Powell is? He did the Sydney Sweeney romantic comedy, Anyone But You, towards the end of last year.
Okay, I
Uh,
I do know who he is.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's
I'm familiar
just,
with the idea of him.
and he's gonna be in Twisters later on this year, which I'm really excited about because I love the movie Twister, so I'm excited about Twisters. Um, but he is an actor that has boatloads of charisma. He's always likable every time he's on screen. He's really great in Top Gun Maverick. He was really great in Devotion with Jonathan Majors. And he was also in Richard Linklater's film Everybody Wants Some, which is the spiritual sequel to Dazed and Confused. I know people hate the term spiritual sequel, but it is kind of the same kind of feel movie, basically about a baseball team in the late 70s, early 80s, I believe it is, that they're just getting, the new pitcher is just getting to the team's clubhouse just as the school season's about to start. So it's like the party weekend before. And Glen Powell is one of the team members, got a great handlebar mustache in it. And it's a solid movie, and I've always thought ever since I saw him on Ryan Murphy's show Scream Queens that this guy is going to be really big, because he had that kind of Ryan Reynolds energy to him, but with a different kind of seasoning, I would say. Hitman is a solid movie. It is a well-told story that that goes right down to the script, like the chemistry of the words on the page and how the actors are relating them. And the story itself is just kind of wild, like this teacher who moonlights as a volunteer for the FBI, who goes undercover in disguises as hitmen for hire to basically get that person put in jail for attempted murder. Like it's just like a wild story, and I can't believe it's a real thing. All that aside, like they do a good job of like kind of then blending the romantic comedy into it, which is not a genre that I'm huge on. I'm not really a big rom-com guy. Like they do need a hook to bring me in and that kind of stuff. But they string it along there because the characters are so good and the writing is so good. I will say that the out on the film, like that last scene before it goes to credits, it stunk of like a glossy Hollywood reshoot, and it was corny, and I really didn't like it. Like it took off the edge of the movie, and I thought I almost felt like they should have ended it a bit before. And then honestly, in my like kind of rating, it shaved off maybe a star off of my rating, because I was already on the track of it being the best film of the year. So I was kind of bummed about that. I do have to give a shout out to Austin Melio, who I think steals this movie in every scene he's in, because he's so damn good. And he, like, I know that you're a fan of him from Walking Dead, and I'll let you speak on that in a sec, but he's also in Everybody Wants Some as well, and that's the first time I saw him, because I think that predates his arrival on Walking Dead. And he's such a pivotal character in Walking Dead, as far as like I read the comics and stuff, so he is such a big character. And yeah, I dig him a lot.
Yeah, I really like Austin Emilio. Yeah, and his character in The Walking Dead is one of my favorites. Simply just because of like the change, like just the dynamics of his character and how he plays it is just it's so good.
Because he comes in as the unforgivable Negan's crew. Because of course Negan arrives horrible and kills Glenn, and you know what I mean, and like so spoilers. None of these people that I'm sorry, Stephen Ewan, we'll talk about you later. But I mean, you're not supposed to like any of these characters. So, but I think
Yeah.
that's also a testament to the Walking Dead's writing in the good sense, is they can redeem even the most unredeemable characters. So I don't know.
But like Negan gets redeemed. So
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I know that.
yeah.
Even in I'm like, because I also take the comic book as a bit of a bit of an outside guideline, and I'm very far in the series. So like, like I'm I know that there is a path to redemption for Negan, so I'm totally okay with it. I don't know how the show is going to approach it, as because I haven't got that far in Kirkman's television telling of this story, but
it is pretty good. But
it's,
that might just
the
be
thing
because
about
it's Jeffrey Dean Morgan, so.
Yeah, well, exactly, and he just makes everything just work like honey. Like, he's so great.
Yeah.
The only thing about Walking Dead, and I know we're straying far off Hitman, I'll bring it back home in a sec, is there's so many different showrunners that went through that show. Like, it changed hands so many times that some of that, I notice how jarring that is when you change showrunners. Though I am looking forward to when we finally get to Nicotero, because I mean, he was on the series since the beginning with Darabont, so he's probably the closest tether to storytelling, even though he came at it from a special effects side.
Yeah. Greg Nicotero and Angela Kang, I think her name is.
Right. Because it was Scott Gimple before them.
Yeah, and he also did The Ones Who Live.
Oh yeah. I knew that, and that's the Negan series, right?
No, that's
the
Rick and Michonne one.
Rick and Michonne one, and that one was that's the tops of the spinoffs.
Yes,
like that's the best one.
Yeah, that is the best spinoff. Yeah.
Though I saw that they're going to start running trailers for the second season of Daryl Dixon soon.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I want everybody to beat up. I care about Andrew Lincoln, okay? I want to see Andrew Lincoln on my TV screen. So.
Yeah, that's fair. Anyway, Hitman's good. It's a good film. You should check it out when it's streaming. But I recommend going to see it in theaters, because the simple fact that Mad Max bombed at theaters this weekend is depressing. Is just depressing. Especially because Mad Max cost $200 million to make. It only made $31 million. That makes me really sad for the state of films. Movies will always be around, but keep theaters alive, please.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to a comedy drama that hits a little close to home with me. This is Ezra.
Comedian Max co-parents autistic son Ezra with his ex-wife Jenna. Faced with crucial decisions about Ezra's future, Max and Ezra go on a life-changing cross-country road trip. Starring Bobby Cannavale, Robert De Niro, Rose Byrne, Vera Farmiga, Whoopi Goldberg, Tony Goldwyn, Rainn Wilson, and introducing William H. Fitzgerald, directed by Tony Goldwyn.
And this is a movie that feels Hollywood glossy in a lot of parts to it. But the subject matter is manipulative to a parent of any child on the spectrum. And there were a lot of things that nailed me right in the freaking heart. Especially when it comes to a small thing like affection. Like Max from Ezra most of the time just wants a hug, but every time he goes to hug Ezra's like, like, don't touch me type thing. And like just the non-understanding of that on both sides is it's heavy. It's really, really, really heavy. So I feel like the movie is very good at being manipulative in that sense and getting that emotion going. And I feel like parents of non-neurodivergent children wouldn't relate as well to that.
Yeah.
and that it might come off of that pshaw, oh, this is like whatever, like it just glossy and lame. And to the point that there's a lot of points where you don't like Bobby Cannavale's character, but he wavers. Like some of the decisions he makes and the things that he says to Ezra as trying to understand him doesn't it's not good stuff, and for me, a lot of it felt relatable. So I probably come away from this movie a lot higher on it than most people will. A lot of people just, it's a forgettable, fluffy comedy drama. But I thought it was well written. The De Niro stuff, De Niro plays Bobby Cannavale's dad. Very much written to be a De Niro type character. Like it wasn't much work for him. Had some good emotional beats to it, but wasn't much work. I love Rose Byrne. I love Vera Farmiga. Their appearances are just great. Just like an extra goodness to the film. But yeah, and if you want to know, I cried at the end. Absolutely did. It just got me. It just absolutely got me. I thought it was a well done film. But I feel like I come from a little bit of a biased side. So. All right, let's switch to the home video. Let's look what's on the Blu-ray. Alrighty, so I did something stupid. I decided to watch a movie that I didn't like the first time I watched it, and I was like, maybe I'll give it another chance because everybody that year was all crazy about American Sniper. It was nominated for so many Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Actor and everything. Bradley Cooper and Clint Eastwood directed it. I still don't like this fucking movie. I still don't dig it. It does not improve at all. This portrayal of Chris Kyle, both by Clint Eastwood in his storytelling in the film and by Bradley Cooper, is just so shallow and completely misguided as well, because they're trying so hard to paint Chris Kyle as a hero, but really at the center of it, he was a trained killer that was sent to Iraq to kill a bunch of Iraqis for the US, touted like a hero, and then sent back home being more fucked up than he already was before they sent him. More a damnation than a hero thing, I would say, is you're making these guys cold-blooded killers and then expecting them to come back and pick up and find how to live.
Yeah.
There's better ways to tell that story. There was a movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Ryan Phillippe, Channing Tatum, and like Abby Cornish called Stop Loss. Came out like 2008. That's a better telling of a displaced Marine story, where Channing Tatum is so fucked up in his head that he's digging a foxhole in his front yard to sleep in with his shovel.
Yeah.
Like, that's more interesting to me, and there's just not enough of that depth to this. And the reality we know is a complete contradiction to what Clint Eastwood's telling in this story. And there's a horrible fake baby in this, like their fresh newborn baby. And Bradley Cooper, I swear, is manipulating the foot to make it look like it's kicking. Like,
I mean, probably. It wouldn't be the first time that like movies have used that.
Yeah, but not for like a static dialogue scene. Like, we don't need a fake baby for that. But I think it's because Clint Eastwood doesn't like working with babies. It was like his conscious decision. He was like, I would just get a fake baby and you'll be fine. And just my last nail in the coffin on this movie is the final scenes, like the big climactic scene where it's Chris in real danger, and to the point where he's on the phone with his wife during this battle, and basically says, I want to come home now, like I'm done serving. The scene is so dusty and dark and opaque that I have no fucking clue what's going on, and it's so frustrating because it just makes you not care. And it's the climactic scene of your movie, and I've checked out. I don't give a shit. So, I mean, for being a 72% Rotten Tomatoes, this movie sucks. So,
I think Bradley Cooper's carrying all of that just because he's...
I think he is.
handsome.
Sienna Miller's okay. She's okay in it, but And I think maybe just because I like Sienna Miller. All right, so then this next one I'm cheating. It's a DVD, but it's all up in the biz.
Bismarcky's collage of celebrity interviews, rare film, reenactments, and playful animation who left his mark in the history of hip-hop. Written and directed by Sasha Jenkins.
So this was made for Showtime. It was a Showtime original documentary. And the Bismarcky, I know limited things about the Bismarcky. I know that you got what I need. I know that song. I know his work on Yo Gabba Gabba. I don't really know a lot of it otherwise. So this was a really cool dig into just an old school hip hop legend that influenced so much alongside some of the greats, and became like an icon in his own way. And it's so like, I mean, the guy is so was so like gifted in his style, but you look at the guy and you're like, whoa, what is up with that dude? That dude looks like he's just like fucked up, or maybe had a head injury. Like he's a hard looking dude, and he's just like a really interesting dude at the heart of it. There is a decision in the making of this film, because there's a lot of stuff dealing with his final days, because he was basically bedridden in the hospital for like the last year of his life, and he passed away during COVID. But they decided to tell that part as Biz as a puppet, and I don't know if it was like a Crank Yanker style puppet, and I'm like, I don't know if this is like too morbid for me to like. I don't know where I fall on the fence of that one. Am I cool with it, or is this like so fucked up? But I don't know. Like, I never got used to it. Is what I'll say. I never got used to it. I just thought it was super weird the whole time, the whole movie.
At least they weren't like puppeting around his corpse.
That would be really fucked up. Yeah, that would be really fucked up. I'm like, why isn't this on Shudder? What is going on here? What is going on? But as far as music docs go, I'm a real sucker for them. As always, I'll probably bring that up with every music documentary I talk about on this show. I dug it for that sense, and I always like digging into artists that I don't know everything about, and I'm curious about the genre. I probably wouldn't do that as much with country music artists. I do have a bias. All right, well, let's see what's on one of the streaming apps, or Netflix or Prime Video, or you know,
one of the other billion.
Yeah, insert one. Crackle. What's going on in Crackle?
Nothing. I literally never hear about that. Do they even
Sony Crackle? What's on the Sony Crackle? What's on the Crackle?
Crack?
That was their marketing attempt. That was their boardroom when they were launching the idea. And they're like, what are we gonna sell on it? And they're like, I don't know. We can make a movie out of Dead Rising, I guess. I don't know. I tried doing that for 2 movies.
They did that?
Yeah, they did that. Yeah, they were both filmed in Vancouver.
Oh my god. Okay, I kind of want to watch them.
Well, we found your after podcast date here. So let's go to the first one that you should be watching this Friday with the release on Disney Plus is Jim Henson Idea Man.
This documentary will feature interviews of fans of Jim Henson's work, interspersed with footage from Jim Henson's works, including Wilkins and Watkins commercials that were previously lost. Directed by Ron Howard, and it's available on Disney Plus.
Yeah, this is, I mean, as a Jim Henson guy, like, I love the Muppets. Sesame Street is, I mean, it's an icon. And even watching the original, the first couple seasons of Saturday Night Live, they feature Jim Henson Muppets sketches as well. As you find out in this movie, those sketches, though, were not written by Jim Henson. They were written by Lorne Michaels and the rest of the Saturday Night Live writer staff. And a lot of the writers absolutely detested the Muppets and didn't want that segment on the show at all.
Elmo eyeball destruction!
So it represents like a dark part of Jim Henson's career, but this is a full body, I feel, look at Jim Henson's career from the beginning, when he was making little public access television vignettes, like intersitionals with his wife Jane, up until Labyrinth, which was one of the last big things that Jim did. And it's so sad to get to those and to get to Dark Crystal before it, because both movies were box office and critical failures.
Nobody wanted to look at David Bowie's penis?
No, nobody wanted to look at the bulge. Nobody, a magic dance. Nobody wanted that. I don't understand, because how those movies, both Dark Crystal, which now has a Netflix series accompanying it, how much those movies do live within a pop culture, and one that is almost generational at this point. Like we're showing you, and then you're showing your kids. Like those are big movies. Those are big movies. And to think that they're saying nobody liked them at the time of their release. I guess it just shows how ahead of his time he was.
True. Yeah.
So even so that his concepts went beyond film and television that he wanted to do. He actually wanted to even make this geometrically shaped nightclub in New York that shot projected images off of different points within it. Like, it was super crazy psychedelic shit for a guy that didn't do drugs and didn't do psychedelics. He just understood the angles. Yeah, he didn't need them. Exactly. He just understood the angles and just wanted to trip you out with refracted light. Like, cool. I make it now. Dig up his journals. Make it now. I'm there. I'm totally there for something like that. My only complaint is that I feel like Ron Howard as a documentary filmmaker is a bit soft, and the corners are cut off. He doesn't bring enough edge to and strife to his documentaries. And while it works in something like 8 Days a Week, the Beatles documentary that he did, because that's more telling a linear kind of real true story, you're picking and pulling out of Jim Henson's life, and it feels like in some degrees it's just kind of rounded. I not as much as Beach Boys Last Week was rounded and wouldn't show like real darkness in their history, because they did talk about the Saturday Night Live stuff, so I did appreciate that. But I don't want to give too much more away. I think it's a solid film, and especially if you love what this man created, I think you ought to check out his life story. It's pretty cool. All right, let's got some Will Forte supporting actor stuff. This is Bodkin.
A group of podcasters set out to investigate the mysterious disappearance of 3 strangers in an idyllic Irish town. But when they start to pull the strings, they find a story much bigger and stranger than they could have imagined. Starring Siobhan Cullen, Robin Cara, and Will Forte. Created by Jez Sharf. And it's available on Netflix.
Sharf. First time showrunner. I hope to see that name over and over again. Jez Sharf. And I preface this by saying it was a supporting actor Will Forte one, because when I initially saw the poster, when I got the screener for this one on my preview bar, I was like, oh, Will Forte's the lead in this. He's not really the lead in this. That one's Siobhan Cullen, who plays Dove in this, and I'd say she's really the main character. She's also she's not because this is a dark comedy series, so she's not a stranger to those type of shows, because she also does a show called Obituary on BBC, I believe, which has got a lot of great reviews, and I'm waiting for it to come to Canada at some point. But another thing is, this is another series with podcasting at its heart, because they're which is like a new hotness in storytelling, a visual storytelling right now, which I'm really enjoying because you got Only Murders in the Building, you got Truth Be Told. There are a few other podcast involved TV shows that I think are I think is really
Monolith,
interesting.
another one.
Yeah, Monolith. Yeah, did you get to see Monolith?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Recommended.
Yeah.
But it kind of makes me feel like an OG of it all. I was podcasting back in 2012. Anyways, the show's got like kind of like some dark quirks to it and a good sense of humor. I'm enjoying it so far. I've only made a couple episodes deep so far, but I wanted to bring it to the show because it's not really one of the Netflix shows that's like one of the ones that they I feel like they're pushing. But I feel like once it catches on, it'll kind of get a slow burn. And I like these fish out of water in the British Isles story. Well, this one's in Ireland, so even better. So and a good mystery, like to figure out the ins and outs of it. I'm enjoying it so far.
I'm probably gonna get crucified for this, but I don't really like Will Forte that much.
Oh no! Yeah, a little bit. I feel like there's things you need to see.
Yeah, probably, because everything I've seen him in, he's been like a horrific douche. And it's kind of just made me be like, he's going to be a horrific douche in everything.
So you're talking MacGruber?
Have you seen MacGruber? Last Man on Earth and Strays.
Yeah, okay. Strays is just not a good movie. So we can't judge him on that. It's just not a good movie. Not a good movie.
I like Will Ferrell.
I like Will Ferrell too, but I just felt like a YouTube short that was going on too long.
That's fair.
It was like, wow, you really made this an hour and a half. You really did. You had that much to say? I don't think you had that much to say. I don't know. That's how I felt about it. But MacGruber, you need to see MacGruber. But we have to improve your public image of Will Forte. It's a thing I'm gonna try to do. All right, let's get into some stupid shit. You're gonna hate me for the next two.
Yeah, I already know.
The GOAT on Prime Video.
Legends of reality television compete to earn the title of greatest reality show contestant of all time. Hosted by Daniel Tosh. Daniel Tosh, available on Prime Video.
Is the reason to watch it. Is Daniel Tosh. Because he is a host that has never hosted anything like this before, is being obtuse to exactly how it works. He keeps trying to do confessionals. They're like, Daniel, you don't have to do this. He's like, I want to. He's clearly doesn't want to do it. There's times where he like shows up at the house with all of them and they're like, hey, and he's like, hey. He's like sarcastic. There's scenes where they're talking, where contestants are talking in the kitchen, and then you can see Daniel Tosh raiding catering in the background, like taking slices of pizza and stuff, like walking through in a housecoat. Like, it's just stupid shit. So it's like basically Tosh.0 does a reality show. There was one contestant on it that I knew, or two, I'll say. Joey Sasso, who's the winner of season 1 of The Circle. He was on it, and he's the reason I watched. Him and Daniel Tosh were the reason I watched it. I watched episode 1. The other one is from Love is Blind season 1. I forget what her name is. She's a black lady that marries a white guy, and she brings the guy home, and he's like, the dad's like, you've never been around many black people, have you? It's that woman.
Okay. I
So
remember
there's
the
the
guy,
only,
but not.
yeah, they're the only people that I remember that I know from this series, because everything else is like The Bachelorette or there's one like the Great Bake Off and stuff. There's a bunch of people on it. I had no idea who they were. And then this is totally going to be a spoiler, but you really only need, if you're watching it for Joey, you need only need the first episode.
Okay. Does he get voted? What the hell, man? Why do they keep doing this to him?
I don't know. That happened to him on Perfect Match too, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I
What the
believe
hell,
so.
man? Why doesn't everybody like love Joey like he's supposed to? I had the thing in my notes here to not give the spoiler, but I gave it anyway. Don't give the spoiler. I gave the spoiler. All right, let's just rip the Band-Aid off and get you making fun of me as quickly as you can, because it's returned. The Kardashians season 5.
Follow the Kardashian family as they celebrate new ventures and navigate through their new normal: motherhood, relationships, and career goals. Available on Disney Plus. I with their new normal: motherhood, relationships, and that's life, dude.
I know, and there is. I mean, vapid is vapid, because they are so out of touch with reality in a lot of ways. Like they are hard workers.
Get your fucking ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
They are hard workers for sure, and I don't think they sleep very much. But they are so fucking out of touch with middle low class for sure, especially Kris Jenner, like massively out of touch. Chloe is my favorite though, because she seems to call everybody out on their bullshit a lot, and it makes me laugh because it's so like snipey, and that's the entertaining thing of the show. That really is the entertaining of the show. Her and Courtney's ex, Scott Disick, he's kind of funny as well. But I mean, I started watching it because Disney sent the screener for season 1. So Jen and I watched all of those, and then we just kind of continued watching them. It is diminishing returns, though. Some of the seasons feel really boring, and the most boring person is Kourtney Kardashian. Like deeply, deeply, deeply boring, and which makes me sad because she makes me like feel like Travis Barker's boring, and I like Travis Barker. I don't want to feel that about him.
Is it possible
he's a great
that Kourtney's
drummer.
boring because she's normal or more normal than the other ones?
No, there's a hyperfixation. And what's boring a lot is how gross that her and Travis were for like the first 3 seasons. Like their romance is like basically grinding each other everywhere, and it's like
awesome.
Yeah, and like I don't want to ageism somebody, but like Kourtney's the oldest. She's 43, 44, 43, 44, something like that. Because Kim's 41 now, I think.
Oh, wow. You know, Chloe is an autosexual. She recently came out as that.
What is... Okay, I'm going to learn something here. This is a new term.
An autosexual is somebody who is sexually attracted to themselves.
To themselves. Oh! Wow. I mean, good for you, guess. I mean, yeah. I mean, you don't need anybody else. Well, that's good. That's good, and that's really bad for Tristan Thompson, because that guy sucks. And that, honestly, like, I don't even feel bad. Like, I don't want to outright say that a real person sucks, but that guy kind of sucks. Once a cheater, always a cheater. And he just seems like such a puppy dog. Like, do you like me now? And I don't know. Doesn't work. Just doesn't work.
He probably made her sexually attracted to herself.
Yeah, enough. Like after Lamar Odom,
no.
after Lamar Odom, after Tristan Thompson, and they both cheated on her epically in horrible, horrible ways. So horrible that she had to go get her revenge body. Yeah, I don't know. And the last thing I'm going to say, because I'm going to move us on from this, because I'm sorry I brought it. The BBLs are fucking weird looking. And they all have them. They all have them, and they're really fucking weird looking. I don't get BBLs. I really don't.
And anyway. They like ruin your body as well.
Yeah, because they're like transporting stuff off your body to another part of your body. They'll fuck you for life. Like you're done.
Yeah, and you never gain weight the same way. It's all like oddly like proportionate, and like if you gain weight after getting a BBL, it's all like weird. Like it doesn't go where it's supposed to, and like
they look like aliens to me sometimes. There's silhouette things, or because a lot of them like to wear like leotards and the full body things.
Yeah. Maybe looking human is looking poor.
Yeah, I guess so. Poor. I'm poor. I'm normal. I'm normal. I don't have a BBL. I have really.
You should
I
get
have.
one.
I. All right, let's move. Let's move on to this. Let's go to Outer Range Season 2.
A rancher fighting for his land and family discovers an unfathomable mystery at the edge of Wyoming's wilderness, starring Josh Brolin, created by Brian Watkins, and it's available on Prime Video.
Yeah, Western sci-fi mystery blend. Josh Brolin is the lead in it. I mean, but there's a really great cast around because Lily Taylor's in this, who I love in everything that she does. Imogen Poots is in this one, Lewis Pullman and Tom Palfrey, and they're all very, very solid. It is such an outlier mystery. I didn't know it was really popular until the second season came out, and then all of a sudden people on the internet are like, "Oh yeah, Outer Range is back." I'm like, "What?" I thought it was like on the fringe of like of like a cool show or something, but I really dig that season 1 very much is set up. So now in season 2, the story just runs and everything's established, and now we can get into the meat and potatoes of the story, at the mystery of this big swirling black hole in the middle of Royal's field. I really dig the show. Have you ever given this one a chance?
No.
It's a
I
cool,
don't know.
dark mystery. Like
Okay.
I really think it has potential to grow on a lot of people if you want something just kind of a little out there. And yeah, this once you get through season 1 and figure out what really this show is about, it's just a whole new ball game, and I absolutely love it. So episode 1 of season 2 just has so much more reveal in it that I just want to eat the rest of the episodes up. I'm so excited. It's such a good show. Let's go to Clipped.
The downfall of Los Angeles Clippers owner Donald Sterling amid the team's drive to win a championship under coach Doc Rivers. Starring Lawrence Fishburne, Jackie Weaver, Cleopatra Coleman, and Ed O'Neill. Created by Gina Welch, and it's available on Disney Plus on June 4th.
Yeah, I got this one a little bit early, thanks to Disney Plus. And I remember this story of Donald Sterling being ousted of the Los Angeles Clippers kind of as it was happening, because there was a leak of a really racist tirade voicemail that was left for his, I think it was his mistress, his very public mistress. And to see kind of the lead up to it through this series is kind of interesting. You're like, wow, Donald Sterling was a real piece of shit. Like, just like an awful person that used the team as like his own personal boys club type thing, would bring guests back into the locker rooms to ogle the players and stuff, much to their like discomfort and everything. And Ed O'Neill from Modern Family and Married with Children plays Donald Sterling, and it's so weird to see him as not Jay, especially after 10 seasons of Modern Family, to see him play a character, because I'm so used to either Jay Pritchett or Al Bundy. Like, I'm so used to, or Stan from Wayne's World and Wayne's World 2. That when he plays a character and actually like gets into character acting, I'm like, holy shit, he can really bring it. And Lawrence Fishburne's really good in it too. But coming off the heels of 2 seasons of Winning Time, the Los Angeles Lakers dynasty series with John C. Reilly, this one feels a little second best. It feels like I'd rather watch Winning Time. That was a good series. I really dug that one. So as far as basketball series goes, like the LA Clippers and Lakers battle, the LA Clippers come in second again with this one. Yeah, I think that's about it to say about Clipped. But it'll be available in 2 weeks, so check that out. Or 1 week, 1.5 weeks. I don't know how time works, apparently. We'll get back to that. If this Friday is 31st, when this episode is coming out, it'll be out in 4 days. That's how
Math.
time works.
Calendars.
Mathing. So I'm so good at math that I'm bringing a brand new segment. Yes, now that it's over, I've finished Invincible Season 2, a show that I got you on before I'd even finished the series myself. And you probably finished it before I did, because you probably finished it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, like a month ago.
What a damn...
like 2 months ago.
What a damn great show. We've already talked about the show before when season 2 came back. I just wanted to put a little cap on it, especially now that you've seen it as well. A show that, again, like we talked about with Walking Dead, pays attention to character and will give room for redemption. We see it with two characters at least in season 2. Jason Mantzoukas' voiced character being one of them, which is a big surprise, especially like that scene where you think he's dead because his brain's blown out. Holy shit. Like that whole episode, I think my jaw was on the floor that whole episode. There's so many episodes like that. The full Allen episode. There's so many different facets to this show that you can never put it in one container. It is so multifaceted. I absolutely love it. So I just wanted to get that out there.
Yeah, and Kirkman really showcases his disregard for like if his characters live or die. You know, it's like, we're just gonna kill that guy. He's gone. He's done.
Yeah. Oh, you like him? He's gone.
Yeah. Like I really like that. Like I like it when they're not afraid to just do something and stick with that decision. Because like I know in The Walking Dead live action, Kirkman wanted so bad to kill off baby Judith, but
because he does
they
in the
kept telling
comic.
him no. Yeah, but they kept
graphically,
telling him no,
and I had to put the book down after I got to that part. I was like, okay. I didn't go back to it for at least 5-6 days. I put it down.
Wow. Kirkman's a madman. He
is, and that was really hard to take. That whole ending of the real way that the jail, the prison stuff ends is horrifying. Horrifying. They couldn't do that in a show.
No.
They could not do that in a show. I'm very glad that it won't do some French director will do it in something, but it's bad.
There's plenty of babies that die in movies, so
yeah, that's true. Very, very, very true. All right. So, any other final thoughts on Invincible?
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. Watch it. If you haven't watched it, watch it. If you watch it again. I don't know. All right, I got some reminders. Yeah, that's right. This week's reminders. Kung Fu Panda 4 is out on 4K Blu-ray. And that quickly, right? It feels like I was just talking to you about it like not too long ago.
Like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I haven't received my copy yet. As far as recording date, I'll probably get it tomorrow because tomorrow is the actual day that it's out. As far as we're recording, a little tip to the hat of when we're recording right now. But I don't know. I dug this one. I reviewed it on the March 15th episode, and apparently it's the kickoff to a new trilogy. Anatomy of a Fall is out now on Criterion, a very fitting place for it to debut. Because it is a phenomenal film. It was nominated for 5 Oscars, including Best Picture, Best Actress, and Best Director, and it won for Best Original Screenplay. It's an incredibly well-done film, kind of courtroom procedural mystery. Really, really, really well done. And then finally, fitting in with Maddie Ziegler and Emily Hampshire. It's a sex-positive teen comedy that I really, really liked. I believe it's a telefilm, Canadian-produced film, and I think it's just DVD that it's out on. But I reviewed this as part of my February 9th episode. And I had a fun time with it. There's a few problems here and there. Oh, as far as a review for Anatomy of a Fall, I didn't review that on a What the Hell Should I Watch episode, but it is on my blog for Vancouver International Film Festival 2023, so you can check out my thoughts on it there. And a little for next week. I'm trying things, Chloe. I'm trying new things, and we're seeing how it works out. So really, in theaters, there's nothing new for me coming out this week. So I'm gonna take the opportunity, and I'm gonna go see The Strangers Chapter 1, even though I heard it is the worst of the Strangers movies, which bums me the fuck out. Because The Strangers and The Strangers Prey at Night are great slasher movies that I think if you love the genre, you should have seen these movies by now. So when Rennie Harlan came in and screwed it all up, I'm a little pissed off preemptively. But
yeah, I hope it's not as bad as they say.
My fingers are crossed. My fingers are crossed, especially as we're coming to the end of the episode.
But
all right, what you got?
So, I saw the two newest Godzilla movies, Godzilla
Yes.
-1 and Godzilla Kingdom, some kind of kingdom.
No, Godzilla
it's
X Kong, the new Empire.
Empire,
Yes.
yeah.
Empire Strikes
That
Back.
No. Godzilla's on a TIE fighter.
Yeah, exactly. Just
-1, obviously, phenomenal, amazing, beautiful.
Yes.
It was the closest that I've seen a Godzilla movie come to being a horror film.
Yeah. But that opening scene.
The opening scene got me. Like I got shivers. Like it was something else. And especially seeing it in black and white, like you only get the shape. Like you can't really see the full like size of it. It's just like a silhouette in the back, and that is enough.
How can he sneak up on you? Like,
yeah,
he sneaks up on you in this film. As far as the moviegoer goes, he sneaks up on you. He's just there. And the spit flying, which I don't know if that's been in another Godzilla movie before. It's a simple thing, really, but it adds so much to the visceralness of that moment.
Yeah, it definitely gives Godzilla a more animalistic feel, which I feel is a more realistic way to go about it, even though it's Godzilla. It makes you like think of Godzilla as an animal and not as a super being.
Yeah.
And that makes it scarier.
Yeah. Damn good film. Definitely deserving of all the praise that it got, for sure.
And then Empire. Yeah. It's an American Godzilla movie. It did that. I did not care about the human stories at all, except Dan Stevens, but that's just because it's Dan Stevens.
Because it's Dan Stevens, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know the actress's name, but she's like the short-haired main woman, main female lead.
Rebecca Hall?
Yeah, I think so. Her character annoyed the hell out of me.
Also love that Mothra comes in and is like, snap it!
I love Mothra. I love Mothra so much. And I specifically love that version of Mothra. Just like the beautiful, like, symbol of peace or whatever.
Yeah, like, that's their power. Stop it!
mediating.
Right? Exactly. What did you think of Mini Kong? The only part I liked Mini Kong is when Kong used Mini Kong to beat the other Kongs.
Yeah. Yeah. For like literally until we were explicitly told that like, hey, the little monkey is trying to help King Kong now. I was like, just kill this fucking monkey.
Yeah. Just kick him off of like a ledge by accident or something. It doesn't even need to be on purpose. Just get rid of him. He's done. Oh, that's so great. So 5 out of 5, right?
Sure,
Perfect.
guys.
Perfect. You'll need to update your letterboxd on it
Yeah, I will.
for everyone to know. All right, so that brings us to the end of the episode now. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and Letterboxd at The Stevel Dead.
You can find me on Letterboxd at HoneyBunChloe.
You can find all of these episodes at stevestebbing.ca, and you might be on the YouTube page right now, Steve Stebbing. And if you are, please rate and subscribe. That makes us feel better about everything. And because Chloe isn't on social media, you can also comment down below, and we will read those on the following episode. And, well, we've kind of emptied our list for this week, so we got to go fill them back up. So we'll see you next week. Clunky as fuck.